Hey y'all, some of you know I have been quarantined for the past week or so with COVID-19, so I haven't really been able to get out and show houses or anything. But what I figured I would do is, since I feel like I'm pretty much over COVID-19, don't really have any symptoms anymore, so I'm feeling a lot better, got my energy back. Can't wait to be able to leave the house and get out in public, and not that we can still do much, but I'm excited to do some stuff like just go into a store, be around actual human people. But one thing that I figured I would do is compile a list of some common questions that first-time homebuyers have, and just go through 6 or 7 different ones and try and answer them, because I know some of you have heard how crazy low interest rates are and all that good stuff. So right now really is a really good time to invest in your future and build some equity and get your own place. So let's just go right into it. Number one, what does my credit score need to be? Typically your credit score needs to be about 640. 620 sometimes can work, but if you can get it up to 640, you're not going to have many issues as long as your debt to income ratio is good. And then number two, do I have to have 20% down? Absolutely not. In fact, it's not common for you to have 20% down to buy a house. And that's one of the more common misconceptions, is that people don't think they're ready to buy a house because they can't afford 20% down. You don't have to have 20% down. Most of the programs are going to be somewhere between 3 and 5%. And then that leads into my next question, which is number 3, can I buy with 0% down? Absolutely. There are some programs. One of the more popular ones is the USDA program, where if you buy in a more rural area, you can actually pay 0% down. Now keep in mind, just because you're not paying any down, that doesn't mean that there's not going to be expenses. There's various closing costs, which you can ask the seller to pay for most of the closing costs. But that leads into my next thing at number 4, which is what happens between offer and closing. And that's where these extra expenses are going to come in. So you have your regular home inspection, which you want to factor in. That could be, depending on the size of the house, it could be about $350, give or take. You have the septic inspection, which if it's on sewer, typically you don't have to worry about it, though you can get a sewer inspection if you feel like it's necessary. And then septic inspection can be, it varies. I'd say somewhere between $300 and $600 if you want to get that done. There's the termite inspection, which is going to be $150, which you're probably going to want to get that done just to make sure there's no termite problems with the house. And then there's also the appraisal, which sometimes can be lumped into the closing costs, but just to be safe, you want to factor in usually about $550 for an appraisal. So just because you're paying 0% down doesn't mean that there's $0 that you have to get a house. That would be nice, but it's not going to happen. So number 5, what does my monthly payment include? So your monthly payment's going to have your principal and interest, and then it's going to have your property taxes. It's going to have your PMI, which is insurance for your mortgage, which once you have 20% equity built up in the house, you can get it dropped off. And then at 22%, it drops off automatically. And then you also have your homeowner's insurance, which you'll get a quote. That's another thing that happens between when the offer is accepted and when you actually close on the house and take possession, is you get a quote from your insurance company. Whoever you choose, you can get multiple quotes. And then that's all lumped into your monthly payment. Number 6, as a buyer, as a first-time home buyer, if I use a real estate agent to help me buy my house, how do I pay them? You don't, which is not something that a lot of people realize if they haven't bought a house before, is that you don't pay your agent anything as a buyer. That comes from the seller as part of the commission that they pay their listing agent. So half of that goes to the agent they use to help sell, and half of that goes to your agent that represents you. And then number 7 is, where do I start? And the very first thing you're going to want to do is give me a call at 256-919-3030. You can text me, you can message me on here, whatever you prefer. But I'll get you in touch with a really good lender to get pre-qualified, and that's usually the first thing you want to do, because that will kind of give you an idea of what your budget should be, so you actually know what kind of house you should be looking for and what you qualify for. Okay, cool. Well, reach out to me if you have any more questions at all. I'm here, still in quarantine, even though I feel a lot better, so I've got a lot of time on my hands, so I'll be able to help you however I can. But yeah, this is Austin with eXp Realty, and I'll talk to you guys later.